Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwadner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of meeting with Nick Cegelski. Hi, Nick. He is the founder and host of the 30 Minutes to President's Club. What a great title.
Well, it's a fun title. I got to make my own for the first time. Normally, I'm getting it prescribed to me, so lucky me.
Explain to me the process to President's Club from the idea to the realization. What steps do salespeople need to go through to actually reach that ambitious goal?
One of the things that I learned earlier in my career is, as a salesperson, the only two things that you have to do are generate new pipeline and advance pipeline that you have created, aka move your deals forward, either get them closer to closing or get them out of your pipeline because they're not real deals. And when you simplify things like that, everything else gets much, much simpler. I see a lot of salespeople get distracted by things like, oh, I've got to do my social selling and reshare our company's blog posts every day. I need to spend more time collaborating with my team and practicing our objection handling. And don't get me wrong, there is marginal benefit to those things. But I actually think the best salespeople stop doing things with only marginal benefit, and they reallocate their time into the two things that make the biggest impact: generating new pipeline, advancing current pipeline. And so if you want to boil it all down to that, that's that.
I think there's another issue, Nick, that I hope you will agree with me, that a lot of people want to be in the President's Club. They're already enrolled in another club, which I call the negative club.
In sales, you are sometimes I think about it as you're a professional rejection solicitor, right? We tell salespeople, if you make 20 cold calls and 19 of them hang up on you, yell at you, say they're not interested, but one of them says, hey, yeah, I am interested, that's a win. And that is a win. That's a pretty good ratio. You make 20 calls, you set one meeting, cool. What we don't think about there is the psychological impact of rejection. And so it's not your fault as a salesperson if you start to feel down and negative, because you are constantly being bombarded with rejection and negativity. Your proposal gets ignored. Your demo doesn't go well. You get no showdown on a meeting. Those things are going to happen, and you cannot control those things. What you can control is balancing things out. So if you're getting bombarded by negative from the market, you're a salesperson. You're in the arena, like you're literally a gladiator out there fighting. You need to intentionally balance it out with positivity. That means you should be engaging in positive self-talk, speaking to yourself positively, consuming positive media, reading positive books, talking to other people that lift you up. And if you do not do that, you will have a very short and frustrating career in sales.
What do you do as a person, daily routine that keeps you energized, that keeps you focused, that keeps you motivated, and you make yourself, in a way, rejection-proof?
I subscribe to a belief that you should plan your attack and then attack your plan. And what I am proposing is that more salespeople look at their calendar in advance and plan how they are going to spend their time. And what that means is you start to fill your calendar up with blocks of when you're going to be making your cold calls, when you're going to do your research, when you'll be putting together proposals. A couple things that I do that I think help me maintain the energy around actually executing. One, I treat my prospecting like a workout. And it's an appointment with myself. I put it on my calendar, and I actually put it first thing in the day. I'm sure you've heard the philosophy of eat the frog, the idea that if you've got a live frog sitting on your desk and it's on your to-do list to swallow that frog, you're probably better off doing it first thing in the morning, because otherwise it's just going to sit there on your desk getting slimier and grosser and smellier, and you're still going to have to eat it. So I get my prospecting done first thing in the morning. And if you actually think about cold calling, for example, it is extremely psychologically taxing on a salesperson, because you are literally out there calling people far more senior than you, and you're going to get rejected. You're literally getting punched in the face repeatedly. And what most salespeople do is they'll make a couple cold calls at 9 a.m. They'll make a couple at 11:30. They'll make a couple more at 2 o'clock. It'll be 4:30. Let me eke out a few more. And they end up sprinkling them out throughout the day. And part of the issue with that is, one, this has a serious tax on your productivity because you're constantly task switching. But then what it also does is you're in that fight or flight state of psychological distress the entire day. Confine it to a short, intense, keyword intense period of time. And then when you're done, you can relax a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to just burn your wheels. You have to build in this intentional practice of like start your day with add new pipeline, advance current pipeline. And if you do those two things intensely, you'll get more done in the first 2.5 hours of your sales day than most salespeople will in a week. It's amazing.
Where can people get in touch with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. My first name's easy. It's Nick. My last name's a little tougher. It's Cegelski. If you want to hear me talk more, which I'm sorry if you do, this is what my voice sounds like. I have a moderately popular podcast called 30 Minutes to President's Club. And most of the stuff you can find from me is on the podcast and on LinkedIn. I really appreciate you having me. This was a fun interview.
That was. Thank you so much, Nick.